Hi, and welcome back to the Blab.Cafe. This is Blab.Cafe number 77. This is a place for you to introduce your business, projects, products, and services. Thanks for joining. We'll get started in just a couple of minutes. Hi, welcome back to the Blab.Cafe. This is a place where you can introduce your business, products, and or services. Today I have Ileane Smith in the room, and it is her birthday. So everybody hit those prop buttons.
Thank you.
So happy birthday, Ileane.
Thank you. And thanks for having me on the show today.
Yeah, it's great having you. As always, you're full of good information. And I like you've got some kind of like a different lighting setup too, I noticed. It's got lighting from your backside, and you got that nice little, it's almost like what do you call it, a light flare on the wall, and then you got some nice lighting on your face, so it looks pretty good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I try to switch things up because, especially when it gets dark here, so early in this time of year. So I don't have any natural lighting. I kind of move things around to get more natural lighting, but then the sun goes down so quickly. It's like, you missed it.
Yeah.
But as you saw, I did a Periscope earlier today, which is one of the things I like to do. I like to do a lot of live streaming. And so earlier on Periscope, I had the natural sunlight, and I was on a different position here where I could get that coming through this big window that I have over here.
I actually did some hieroglyphics the other day on this piece of wood. Okay, so this is the sunlight coming in through a window. Okay. This is your laptop. This is your camera. And this is the subject or the person.
Right. Yep. You want that on the other side, because in the other configuration that I had in this room, even though I did tons and tons of videos that way, the window was behind me. So what I had to do, and this is a tip for anybody who has that problem, because you don't want the sunlight coming from behind you.
Yeah.
And even though it wasn't direct, because I've seen some people do where it's directly and it's like blaring. It wasn't that bad. But what I had to do was put up a heavy blanket. And I actually clipped it to the curtain rod using those big clips that you have, like,
the spring clamps. Clip
that to the curtain rod, the existing curtain rod that's already there. But eventually I just wanted to change that because it was to the point where I didn't want to keep getting up on a step ladder to take those clips down, to take that blanket down so I could get real sunlight, because you have to have sunlight. So I wanted to take advantage of the natural light, which is one of the things that, if you're doing video, you should try. And that hieroglyphic is a great example of showing people, make sure the light is on the other side. So like today I was out with my daughter. She took me out for my birthday, and she wanted me to take her picture. And it was like almost every spot we got in, the sun was in the wrong spot. Well, she was in the wrong spot. Actually, the sun's never in the wrong spot. But anyway, finally we got it right eventually.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So what kind of projects are you working on now?
Oh, well, there's a few. One of the things that I'm really keen on is podcasting. And I do my podcast. It's called Miss Ileane Speaks. And you can find that at IleaneSmith.com. And I record my podcast here on Blab. So, and I mentioned my daughter. My daughter has a web design business here, and she also has a podcast. And so one of the things that we're going to get into is local meetups. We're going to start doing face-to-face meetups here in Philadelphia, is where we live.
Wow, that'll be fun. So
we started a meetup group. It's the Philadelphia Podcasting Meetup. And so we actually talked about today, when are we going to have our first meetup? Because believe it or not, there was no other meetup. If you guys aren't familiar with the site meetup.com, is where you go to find your local meetups. And, it's a very good website for finding like-minded people. It's great to do the online thing and all that, but it's also good to connect with folks in person. And so we decided to do this podcasting. And I was surprised that there was no other podcasting meetup in Philadelphia. So,
yeah, that is kind of surprising if you think about it, because podcasters are just about everywhere. I mean, just every city you can imagine, they're just popping up everywhere.
and I'm sure they'll all pop up now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I was even surprised that they had some local meetups here in Denmark and Germany and northern Germany here close to me that were basically, they weren't about podcasting, they were about like tech events, things like that. But it was pretty cool. I like the
it's an
website.
international website. I know they have millions of users worldwide, and all you have to do if you want to get into it is, you go to the site and you sign up, and then you set up a group.
Yeah,
And it's
it's actually really simple and intuitive to use.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
I like it.
luckily for us, she has the event space at her location. And one of the other meetups that I always would attend is Aweber. If people are familiar with Aweber, their email marketing company, and they're in my area here in Philadelphia. They're just outside of Philadelphia in a city called Chalfont. And so I would go to their meetups.
Cool.
And, fantastic way to network, because I've met a lot of people there. But not only that, almost everyone who works at Aweber knows me, because I come to their meetups all the time.
Yeah, they come in here and say, "Hey, we know you."
And I was actually at their event that they had. Speaking of events, you guys, when you can get a chance to go to an event in your area, they had an Ascend conference, and I also attended that. So that's another way to, just network with folks, get your name out there. So we're starting to really build up some steam especially for my daughter's business, but then also for me, my blogs. In addition to IleaneSmith.com, I also have BasicBlogTips.com, which I've had since 2009. So there's over 600 blog posts over there. So if anybody wants to learn about blogging, they can go to Basic Blog Tips.
Then again, though, when you're dealing with like a brick and mortar business that needs some help with social media and stuff, you do that as well. And I think that should be in your title of your meetup somehow. If you could work that in, that we offer help for people in need of, social media marketing.
Absolutely. We have that in the description. And like I said, she and I kind of had a strategy, even though it was my birthday and we were having lunch. We're like, okay, we have to decide on what we're going to do. And so one of the things you can do is in your description, you can fill all that in. But you also, when you have the meetups, you can have sessions. You can, say, okay, folks, in this room, we're going to be talking about social media. In this room, we're going to be talking about live streaming, or how to promote your podcast with live streaming, which is, of course, these are some of the ideas we talked about today. And or even if they're not in separate rooms, we break up into groups. And then at that time, that's when you don't want to just sit up there and say, well, if you need social media, just call me. That's not how you network, guys. I don't want you to get the wrong impression.
But I don't know that because I was listening to some guys that were talking about the way they set their meetups up. They set up their meetups, and basically what they were saying was that very thing. But they were very clear about it in the beginning, so people didn't get the wrong impression that they were trying to push it on them while they were there, because they wanted them to know that their questions about those topics, like social media marketing, were going to be covered within the content, because podcasters are a certain kind of animal where they've got certain content that they want to push out, and people that need social media help, they're kind of like a totally different group of people. So I would think that would be something that I don't know. If I was going to do it, I think that's what I would go ahead and include. And I would put it in there clearly in the beginning. So there's not any kind of like gray areas. They're going, oh, well, why are you trying to push this on us? We're not
Gotcha.
trying to push this on us.
Well,
We're offering our services.
thanks for the tip because like I said, nothing's set in stone yet. We didn't even have our first meetup, so that's
Yeah.
definitely and it's great to have this conversation. This is why I love Blab, because you're now that's something for me to think about, and
Yeah.
you're going to think about your approach that you're going to have anytime you're promoting your business and all
Yeah.
of that. And so I think that is definitely something that
But
we
you
need
got
to
to know that
consider.
it's because what I do here that's exactly what I'm doing here because there's no gray area. I want you to come on, talk about your business, and share your links. There's no like no beating around the bush. This is what I want from everyone, and that's the same thing. I think that if you put it up front at a meetup, I think it could be pretty effective.
Yeah.
I
So
mean, just me spitballing.
yeah, and my other concern too is right now I think we have about 80 people, and I know you're familiar with Udemy, right?
Yeah,
Um, I am a Udemy instructor as well. And I just went on Udemy just to see if there were any classes about the meetup because there is a dashboard on the meetup website that you have to
yeah,
go into to upload the logo, and there's different ways that you can actually email people who have signed up for your meetup group. And I wanted to see if there was some, and I did find this really a free Udemy course on how to run a meetup, and it was pretty informative. And then, like you said, there was a guy here on Blab. He was on my friend Leslie Samuel's Blab. Leslie Samuel has a podcast that he was recording here on Blab called "Become a Blogger," and he was interviewing a gentleman who runs these meetups as well. And he was sharing some tips. So I don't know if that's the same one that you saw, but he had some really good tips. And I was like, wow, this is so timely. We just started a meetup group, and it's funny because in podcasting you rarely hear people talking about it. So it's just another one of those things to it's maybe a startup for us doing bigger events, having our own events. But, we
yeah.
keep that stuff in the back of our minds because we got to get to the first little local meetup before we
Well,
even start.
that's one of the things too. Is what I was imagining too is because you're actually you're way ahead of the ball when you're doing some test meetups. You could maybe just run a couple of test meetups and see what kind of response you get from the ones that say, you know what, these are also some of the services that we offer. Because you know what, when a person gets together and they're going there and they're just sitting there just saying, oh yeah, let's have a cup of coffee, let's chit chat, there's got to be something there that's got some meat and potatoes besides the coffee that you're going to get there for. I would think that you'd want to make sure that stuff. But I think that podcasting is just one of those things that's, to me, it just represents something that you do as a hobby. You know,
Mhm.
I don't know. I know there's people that do it really hardcore, and there's some people that make really good money at it. But I don't know. It just this for me is like I have a real set, format. So I don't know. I've had lots of people say, "Oh, you need to take all of this content and send it over to SoundCloud, all of it," because I've got literally 76 shows
Mhm.
recorded. So
Oh,
I don't
why
know.
do you know why they mentioned SoundCloud? I
No.
mean, besides Libsyn, I use Libsyn.
Yeah, I
Um,
think Kevin does as well. Yeah.
yeah, and you can. The great thing about Blab and the reason why I record on Blab is because they send you the audio and
The
the
audio
video
file.
recording, and that audio that saves you or us the step of extracting that audio from that video file, and so that saves a lot of time, guys. And so
Yeah.
this is one of the reasons why when I saw Blab, I was like, oh, I like this is perfect. and I've been here every day for about
Well,
200
I'm
days.
going to go ahead and say happy birthday and share your links, and we will see you again very soon. Thank you very much, Ileane.
Thanks for having me, and you guys take care.
Hi, welcome back to the Blab.Cafe. This is a place where you can introduce your business products and or services. Today we have Planet Antonio in the house, otherwise known as
Antonio.
well, that makes it easy.
Yeah,
Hi,
the Planet
Antonio.
Antonio thing kind of just it started back in the day when I think Hotmail just came out, and I'm like, what the hell's a Hotmail? And it's like, oh, it's your email, and it's like, what's an email? So it went, and so you have to create a name. I'm like, well, my name's Antonio. I don't know, Planet Antonio. I didn't think anything of it at the time, and I just
Uh-huh.
kind of had it and used it for every application since then.
Okay. So what kind of projects are you involved with, or businesses or events?
Okay. Um, well, mainly it's about my band. I'm in a rock band. It's called Reality Suite, and it's spelt like hotel suite. So, in fact, I guess I could probably write it here in the chat, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's for most people that they're going to be doing that or looking for that. Yeah, it's good that it's written. So
Great. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
we'll go ahead and take those links and put them into the chat bar. So what kind of stuff do you do? I mean, are you guys traveling around? Are you like do you got a big bus that you travel around in?
no, in fact, it's very local at the moment. But I have to say that lately, we came out with a CD maybe about 5 months ago, and it's been creating quite a buzz locally around here. And last night we just played a show of 400 people, so it's really picking up. We created two videos that are located on YouTube, which is Reality Suite YouTube page, and we're getting quite a bit of a buzz, and I'm pretty excited about it. The music is basically, I want to say the best way to describe it is it's modern classic rock.
Okay. Can I hear something? No, we
Yeah.
can't do that. We can't do that anyways because then there would be all kinds of flags going up. Every
Oh,
time I
okay.
put any kind of music on my videos, and even if it's like I've been using some different types of editing software, and I grab
Okay.
like a little snippet of song, and
Yeah.
they pick it up, and it's like all of a sudden I get a flag, and I'm like, oh, come on, really? Like literally just a couple of seconds of music. No, but
Well,
in some cases, if I if I know about it in advance, I can actually do certain things to yeah, make sure that that doesn't happen.
oh, okay.
So
Well,
yeah.
maybe this will help. I authorize for all use of our videos being published in third-party content. I don't know,
Yeah.
something like that. But yeah, we're on every type of social media anyhow. I mean, it's all out there in every angle possible, which is really cool. So it's always available.
That's great.
Yeah, all you have to do is know the name.
So do you have any kind of like are you going to start using the Blab platform as a tool for yourself or do you plan on
You
doing any
know,
kind of blabbing?
I'll tell you what. I mean, the Blab is a great idea. I love it. It's a new concept for me. I've discovered it through a friend of mine who mentioned it to me, and she's from London. And she says it's a really big thing out there in the UK.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah, and I'm really new at this right now, but I'm probably gonna, utilize it in so many ways. More likely to like have like live broadcasts of maybe band practice or something of the sort, or shows,
Yeah.
just to put it out there for people who can't make it themselves but would like to check out what's out there. Yeah, I mean, it's great to grab. I, I'm not sure how long this program's been around, but to grab it in its infancy is fantastic because it's still fresh and people will check out anything you put out there.
Yeah. Well, this one's been around since April of last year, so
Oh,
yeah.
oh wow, then I'm really
Yeah.
late.
No, 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 not really, because you know what? There's not that many. There's like Blab's Got Talent. There's a lot of people that are coming on there and singing and doing musical things, and that's with Yo Pickles. I've done an interview with her before, but
Okay, yeah, I follow her on Periscope.
yeah, yeah, she's got her own thing that she's doing here called yeah, Blab's Got Talent. But anyways, what I was going to say is, regardless of what you do, there's never like overflow of it. If it's good
Yeah,
content, it's good content. So, you can
that's
always
true.
do well no matter where you put it. So,
Very true. Yeah. So, at this moment, we are just looking for, any new way of getting out there. And one of the things that we've entered was something called Floodfest by a company named Ernie Ball, which makes strings for guitars and basses. And so we entered the contest, on a whim. It was like, it's just like anything else. If you enter a contest, you hope for the best, expect the worst. Well, we've been very fortunate because the past week we've been number one on that billboard. So
wow,
if
that's
we
great.
do win this contest, we get to play in Austin, Texas in a big show.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be nice.
So I'm pretty excited about that. That link is also on the website, on our main website. So it's really fun, easy to find.
Cool. Now, is there anything that's coming up that's like an actual scheduled gig that you'll be playing at in any local area that
Yeah.
you're?
Well, I'm located in northern New Jersey, and our next gig is going to be in Clifton, New Jersey, at a place called Clash Bar. And that's on Friday. I'm sorry, I'm not sure. Is it Friday or Saturday? It's February 20th.
Okay,
So we'll
that's
be
that's
playing
good.
on February 20th, probably right around 8 or 9 o'clock, something like that. Anybody near the area, more than welcome to come, and it should be fine.
Cool. That's great. Well, it's really nice meeting you, Antonio.
Thank you very much. It's great being on the show.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I will go ahead and extract those links and put them into the show notes over on YouTube. Thanks a
Great.
lot.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining Blab.Cafe number 77. This is Blab.Cafe number 77. This is a place where you can introduce your business, products, and or services. Thanks for joining, everybody. We'll see you mañana.